Alright guys, picking up here for the block, I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom, and I'm going to show you an interesting trick. I'll start by shelling the bottom here. Two commands I could use to do this. I'll do this coming over here. It's nice again because I have the center on that axis. I can go ahead and sketch a center rectangle and go out there, and it's 1.252. If I did 1.052, that'd be a tenth of an inch. Let's see if I'm going to check that dimension. I don't know that it automatically did that. I'll make that 1.052. So that's a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and finish that sketch, and then I will extrude that in 0.656. Oops. Extrude that in as a cut. I apologize. 0.656, but since I want it to go inwards, I'm going to put a negative sign, and that changes this operation to cut here, so that's done that. Another interesting way I could do that is to use a command called shell. So I'm going to go back to not having it at all and come over here to create and see if it's here, and if it's not there, then it'll be under modify. There it is. I'm going to do shell, and I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to do 0.1, and that's just this. Now that you can see has a little trouble there, so I don't think shell would be the best way to go. So I'm going to go back and do it the original way I just did that, which is just going to be with the drawing. Alright, so sketch here on the bottom. Oops. I'm going to sketch, I accidentally chose the plane. I'm going to go ahead and do a center rectangle. I'll drag that out to 1.052, tab 1.052, enter. I'll finish the sketch, and then I'll extrude that in negative 0.656, and then goes ahead and does that. Now, what I want to draw is the bottom peg, and the bottom peg's function is to touch all four of these pegs. So I'm going to use something called a constraint, and I'm not even going to measure that because I understand the functionality. So I'm going to sketch here on this plane, and I know that it's going to be a circle that goes from here out some distance. Now, in this sketch still, I'm going to come down to create, I'm going to go down to project, and I'm going to project, I have to go back on top, the geometry. I'm going to project this circle, this circle, this circle, and this circle, and hit OK. Now, when I come down there, you can see that I can see that, and I want this to touch. So rather than just dragging this bigger and smaller, I'm going to use what's called a constraint. I'm going to tell it that I want it to be tangent. Tangent is touching the edge of a circle. So I'm going to tell it this to be tangent to that. Now, when I finish the sketch, if I look here at the bottom, that just touches, the circles just barely touch, which is exactly what I was after. Now I could simply extrude this back down. I don't know if I got to go all the way back down the 0.656, so maybe 0.6 again, and I'll just hit OK. And now you're going to see what I've done is I've created that so that the pegs from the stud below that will just touch, just kiss that, but not go through it. So I made that fit by using a constraint. The shell command's nice. Extruding the box in to cut it out there is nice. The constraint commands are hugely helpful to everything we do in a sketch mode for CAD. That's what our next lesson is going to be about. We're going to go through and learn the different types of constraints. When you are in a sketch mode, there's a bunch of buttons that pop up under the constraints, and these all have a wonderful time-saving capability. And that's why we do the constraining a sketch. It'll take us a couple days, but it will give us a ton of power when we are making things fit together, which is, I would argue, a pretty essential thing for CAD. I also argue it saves you a lot of time once you learn the tools. So, thank you, and go ahead and do this on the bottom of this sketch, and we'll continue evolving the block after we learn to constrain sketches.